Something major has just changed in the United Kingdom's immigration system, and it could reshape the future of thousands of international students around the world. In a sudden and controversial move, the UK government has announced it will stop issuing study visas to people from Afghanistan, Cameroon, Myanmar, and Sudan starting this month. The decision was confirmed by the UK Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood, who says the move is necessary to stop what the government calls widespread visa abuse. But behind that announcement lies a deeper story, one that mixes immigration policy, humanitarian crises, and growing political pressure. And it is raising serious questions. According to the UK's Home Office, many people from these four countries who originally entered the UK legally as students later applied for asylum. In fact, official figures show that asylum claims from people who first arrived on study visas have more than tripled between 2021 and 2025. Today, those cases make up about 13% of all asylum claims currently in the UK system. For the government, that number signals a problem. Mahmood says the country must protect its immigration system from being exploited. She called the decision unprecedented, stating that some individuals were attempting to exploit the UK's generosity. Her message was blunt. The government, she said, is determined to restore order and control to Britain's borders. But the statistics behind this policy reveal something striking. Nearly 95% of Afghans who arrived in the UK on study visas since 2021 eventually applied for asylum. For students from Myanmar, asylum claims increased 16-fold. And for students from Cameroon and Sudan, claims have more than quadrupled. To immigration officials, those numbers suggest a growing pattern. But to critics, they reflect something entirely: desperation. Because the truth is, each of these countries is facing deep instability. In Afghanistan, security remains volatile, with ongoing tensions and violent clashes along its borders. In Sudan, a devastating civil war that began in 2023 has displaced millions of people, creating what the United Nations calls the world's largest humanitarian crisis. Meanwhile, Myanmar is locked in a brutal conflict following the military coup of 2021. And in Cameroon, separatist violence continues in the country's English-speaking regions. So while the UK government sees a loophole in the visa system, others see people fleeing war, poverty, and instability. Still, the new restrictions are moving forward. The Home Office says there are currently 16,000 people from these four countries receiving government support while their asylum cases are processed. Officials warn that if the trend continues, it could place an unsustainable strain on Britain's asylum system. And the visa ban is only part of a broader crackdown. The UK government is also tightening refugee protections, reducing them from longer terms to just 30 months in some cases. All of this comes as pressure grows on the government to reduce immigration numbers. In 2025 alone, more than 41,000 migrants crossed the English Channel in small boats, a rise compared to the previous year. The political pressure has been intense. Critics on the right say the government must get tougher, but critics on the left argue these policies risk punishing those fleeing conflict. Some lawmakers have even warned that tightening immigration rules could worsen the UK's labour shortages, especially in sectors like healthcare and social care. And that is where the irony begins to surface. The UK has long been known for welcoming refugees through international resettlement programs. In fact, it remains one of the countries that accepts the largest number of refugees referred by the United Nations. Yet at the same time, the government is now closing one of the few legal pathways that vulnerable people might use to reach safety. Supporters say the policy protects the immigration system. Opponents say it risks shutting the door on people who have nowhere else to go. And as the new visa restrictions take effect, thousands of potential students may now find their future paths suddenly blocked. For some, it may mean searching for opportunity elsewhere. For others, it may mean returning to countries still struggling with war and instability. For the UK government, this decision is about control. But for the world watching, it raises a difficult question. Where should the line be drawn between protecting borders and protecting people? If you want more breaking political news, global analysis, and stories that educate Nigerians about world events, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone who needs to understand what is happening in the world. Stay informed, stay ahead.